It's a great day in SimWorld, everybody. Good morning and welcome to SimWorld Today. I'm B Ron. Alongside me is my co-host. He yells. It is Thursday. Good morning, man. How you doing?
Man, I'm feeling good. Waiting on the day where we do like a nice adult sexy version of SimWorld tonight.
Oh,
I'm,
maybe. Who knows, man? Who knows? That's a special thing that you know. Look.
yeah.
Anyway. Look, man, we got a great show for you all today. Let's jump right into it, shall we? We have only one unbeaten team left after last night. Heartland Zombie Stars went down, yells.
Yeah,
Game against the Philadelphia Elite. Go ahead.
they did. It was a great game though. But do
It
your
was.
thing. It was a great game.
Yeah, it really was. You saw Benari James get things started there, and there's some scoring. There's Philadelphia coming back with it the other way. And there is Monty Parson, one of the top recruits for Philadelphia. His impact there, and in the third quarter here, the James brothers connected, hooked up. Denari took Barkley for the three.
Beautiful.
Oh, the timeout there, and in the waning moments of the fourth quarter, who else but Nas Hall tried to ice the game going in and getting the layup that does in fact put the game away for the Elite to knock off Heartland from the undefeated tier of teams. There's only one team left, and that's Cascadia.
Yeah. About that game though, before we even
Yes.
get into that, was an incredible game. Philadelphia, look, both teams came out. The defensive intensity was through the roof in this one. The Riot House was absolutely rocking. But
Absolutely.
Philadelphia's defense from top to bottom of this game, from opening tip all the way to the final buzzer, I think they ended up with somewhere around 11 blocks and like 6 steals. They are not the biggest team in SimWorld Prep at all, B-Ron, but they are
No.
scrappy. J.C. King, J.T. King, Jermaine Owens, Orlin Mock, like they are a team full of Patrick Beverleys and Rudy Gobert's. And I'm not a Rudy Gobert fan, but what I'm getting at is they are harassing on defense. If you think you're going to get an easy bucket, there's a few different strategies that are going to work for against Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Obviously, as they've lost some games, getting their footing, but defensively, you're in for a absolute slugfest the entire game, and we saw that last night. The interesting thing, and one of the things that made it a great game, is Heartland Zombie Stars fit the same mold. They are a
Yep.
really scrappy team. That's why they have been undefeated, along with having some offensive firepower in Benari James. But they got outworked last night, and in the waning moments, I think it looks like they may have ran out of gas. Like Philadelphia just really worked them into. It was a war of attrition, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. We talk about both teams being scrappy, and, they both combined for 11 turnovers. So they were both doing their part, really getting after each other. And, the thing about this one, too, Benari James didn't have the most efficient night. He did get 16 points, but he shot 32% from the field to do it. Hunter Harvard had a double-double, 10 and 15 points, 10 point, 15 rebounds. Barkley James had 6 points of his own. He had some help. The only person who didn't score in the game was Giselle Henderson and Robert McGee. Most people didn't score, but made impacts in other ways. But for
Well, be wrong. The other thing behind it, it's not. A lot of times we'll say somebody when someone has a great game. Oh, look how well they did. Right. We don't look at the
right,
the other factors around who set those screens, who made that pass, why the
right,
lane was wide open, and what have you. Or defensively, when someone has or on the other side of the ball, when someone has a rough night, we don't always point out the defense. Benari James was absolutely harassed last night.
yeah,
But
no, he was.
Orlin Mock gave him hell up and down the court. Everywhere that he turned, he was running into a defender. AJ Frost
Yep.
came in short stints and gave some great defensive minutes. JT King, and Alex Matthews. And even when he was able to beat his man or find an opening, he was met at the rim by
Yeah.
Jermaine Owens and JC, or excuse me, make sure I got it. Which one? J.C. King, who was going crazy in the paint, had 4 blocks. I think he had 3 of
Yeah.
them in the first quarter.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, and that is something to look at. That's why you can't just, look at numbers and say, "Oh, this person did this or they had a bad game or whatever," because there's like you said, there's a lot more to it than just that. There's a reason why someone struggles, and more times than not, it's because of the defense. And Philadelphia's defense, as we know, is very, very, as you said, scrappy and tough, and they're gonna make you work for it, game in, game out. But the real story I think for this one coming out of it is, Monty Parson and Nas Hall, both of them played very well for Philadelphia. Both finished with 17 points, and even Orland Mock had 10. And like you said, Jermaine Owens 12 rebounds. Um, there's some rumblings going around this morning about how uh Monty Parson should be the offensive focal point, and I want to get your thoughts on that. Should he be that focal point for Philadelphia, or should it still run through Nas Hall?
Yeah, I'm gonna sound like the old head, and cool. I'm fine with it. I think it should run through Monty Parsons. Here's a couple thoughts. So this is prep basketball. I know this is the most premier prep basketball league in the
Hmm.
land, in the world. So a lot of times we cover this, and the fans follow this like it's the NBA, like it's the pro level league. This is prep basketball. There can be one guy, two guys, three guys. Everybody's not going to average 20 points on a team because everybody should be getting the opportunity to shine, to showcase their abilities for SimWorld U, right? But every
Right,
now and
right.
then there's a few guys. There's that short list of 10 to 15 guys in SimWorld Prep where you need to run things through them primarily. Maybe you may be lucky enough to have two of them on the team. Philadelphia has two of those guys on the team, in my opinion. They have
Yeah,
Monte Parsons. They have Nas Hall. Who's number one? Who's number two? I like to run things from the inside. I think Monte Parsons created a lot of, when you can force a double team, that's different. When you play through a perimeter guy, B-Ron, perimeter guys can get doubled, but they're not going to force a double team. And a lot of times they can be forced into a bad shot. If you work it through the post, you can get easier shots. So I'm a big fan of running through the inside. Monte Parsons, I think he's 16. Nas Hall is on his last season here in SimWorld Prep, so I can see why Coach Drees wants to run it through him. But Monte Parsons is a dog. They both ended the game with 17 points.
yeah.
Before we start talking about who the offense goes through, I'm not getting off my soapbox on this. They held Heartland Zombie Stars to 33%. They only Philadelphia only shot 43% themselves, but they held their opponent to 33% and 10 points in the fourth quarter. Defense won this game.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree with you there. As far as who gets that nod offensively, personally, I still think it goes through Nas, because again, it is his final season in Simo Prep, and I feel like he does uh need the opportunity to shine. However, uh if it does go through Nas, Monty can still get his own, because I think Nas is one of those players who's going to command the double team from just his ability to get to the basket, which will allow for those passes to go into the bigs, Owens and Parson, and they can score that way, and Nas can get assists that way too. So, I mean, I don't think it matters too much how it's run, because I think the end result is still gonna be the same with one or both of them getting buckets, and good luck trying to stop one and or both of those two when they're going.
Nas shot 37%, 38% last night. Monte Parsons shot 58%. If that leans in my point at all, who knows?
Benari James shot 32%. Hodge Harwood shot 57%. 57%.
Big men usually gonna get you a higher percentage. Perimeter guys are
Yeah,
gonna get you a prettier finish. They're all worth 2 and 3 points, guys.
yeah, yeah. They are. That's very true. Very true. Well, look, let's move on to our next one, shall we? Beasts of the East. Are they back? Are the Beasts back, man? They won their game last night, moved to 4-2 over Beyond the Arch, and that was a really, really fun game too. You see some defense there from Jermaine Owens, sending it back in a crazy sequence here. Beyond the Arch gets the stop, and McAdams, the big guy, running the floor and throwing it down with one hand.
They got to get that guy more touches.
Yeah, they sure do. And there's Losi Thomas. Needs to get more touches as well from 3-point land in the third. Getting that one to go. It got the lead to 10, and they ran away with it in the fourth quarter. You see Kyrie Brown in the corner there. getting another 3-pointer there from him to go as well, and Beast of the East were able to get the win in that one. Again, 73-61. Their surge in the fourth quarter led them to getting that win, and let's not lose sight of the fact that this game was really close for a good chunk of it until the late, maybe like 5 minutes up in the fourth quarter when the Beast ran away with it.
Yeah, 9 point differential in the fourth quarter for Beast of the East. That's when they really made their push. They showed that championship pedigree, putting it on display there in the fourth quarter where they took the reins. B-Ron.
Yeah.
Look, beyond the arch. Let's not jump the gun here. Love Beast of the East. I know Coach Drayton thinks the media beats up on him, or he doesn't. They don't. We don't give his squad enough attention. They're great.
Mm-hmm.
Johan Noah Jovic was the offensive focal point of Beyond the Arch this season. Supposed to be.
Yeah.
He's
Mm-hmm.
out. He didn't play in this game.
Right.
They didn't have their full complement of what it is that they're supposed to be. Granted, Beyond the Arch has not played great this season. Let's add that into the fold. The defending champions playing one of the teams that are not the most heralded in SimWorld Prep without their best player. And BTA gave them hell for 3 quarters, is what I saw. We saw Keyshawn Blazingame, 17 points. Could he be a breakout player that just didn't get to have an opportunity? I personally think so. Nick Bowie went crazy, 20 points. He got a lot of opportunity. Another player that I think could get some more minutes. They didn't even see Paul McAdams get to kind of run rampant on them, and they struggled.
Yeah.
So there were quite a few things that were concerning for me in this game. They pulled out the win, and that's what I'm gonna give them. They pulled out the win. That's what it's about: getting the W, getting your guys some
Right.
chance to shine.
Yep.
B-Ron. But I will tell you, I am disconcerted or discerning. Oh, good. What's happening this morning? I am concerned, excuse me, with the fact that Levin Cutler played. Let me look at my notes here. That's what's happening when I'm looking up in the sky, guys. Levin Cutler played 14 minutes. There were some scouts in attendance. From what I'm hearing, there were some scouts in attendance that came to see Big Levin. He played 14 minutes. He did not start. I know there's no starters and no bench players for Coach Drayton, and on a lot of teams it doesn't work that way as far as minutes. But starting the game from the tip, I think that does matter in a lot of people's eyes. It was
Yeah.
just an awkward sight for me personally. And they struggled more than I think they had to. Even though they took over in the fourth quarter, B-Ron, and the score would indicate that they beat them down.
Mm-hmm.
Even how the flow of the game was, it just didn't look like they had full control the entire time. I loved what I saw. I love the progression. Oh, you know how I love my guy. Who's my guy, B-Ron? Leonidas. I love, man, Leonidas and KPJ were hooking up like
They
Rick
really
says,
were,
like they were
man.
on a dating app. Oh, the alleys were flying. I love what I saw. Tyree Moy is a dog. JoJo getting it done. Saw a little bit from DeMarcus and Losi and Kyrie Brown. Kyrie Brown is a shooter. Oh, someone get him a permit. He is a shooter. Losi, I just didn't see the continuity though. It looked too hard. It looked too hard for him in this win for me, B-Ron.
So you're not ready to say that they're quote unquote back yet?
No,
No.
no.
Okay. Fair enough.
What
Fair
did
enough.
I did I not make that clear?
I just wanted to ask for clarification because
Yeah,
somebody out there might feel some kind of way about it, which it's fine, But I want to give credit first where it's due to Beyond the Arch for hanging in there, playing a really good
absolutely.
game. I think there's a lot of positives you can take out of that loss. You have two guys in Bowie and Blasingame who could potentially be that guy to replace Nojovic. If not, by themselves, then as a committee sort of thing. Because sometimes it's not about having one guy who can get it done, as we've seen throughout the course of the season so far on other teams around the league. Not gonna name no names right now, but I think that when you have guys like Bowie and Blasingame who can give you 20 to 17 points like they did tonight or last night, you know, it doesn't not going to result in a win all the time, obviously, but that's good to know you have that capability to do so. So you got that to build on. Get McAdams more involved, perhaps. I like what I saw from him. Get him more involved, perhaps. You might have a little something going on here, and yeah, I need to see more from Daniel Horry too.
He's been
Didn't really.
struggling. He's been
do a whole
struggling
lot.
this
Yeah,
year.
he's struggling to begin the season. Yeah, he really has, considering last season and how he played last season. But on the other side of that, Beast of the East, like you said, they had to struggle throughout most of the game. And I don't know if we're going to call it struggling or if just, Beyond the Arch played a good game in their own right. Uh, call it what you will. But, they had to play a tough game and they went up against a team that wasn't ready to let them have it. And that's what it's like being the champs. You're gonna have to fight night in, night out to get your wins because these teams are gonna be coming for you. And
Yep.
which happened to be the case last night.
You do
Do
as the
I?
champions. You get every other team's best effort. This is an
Yes,
excellent point
exactly,
you're making there, B. Ron.
exactly,
Before we
exactly.
move on,
Yeah,
get Paul McAdams the damn ball. I want to see more Paul McAdams. We all want to see this kid. Get him the ball.
yeah. Get him the ball. We saw him do a step back last night from mid range. That was crazy. It's crazy. We saw him do a lot of things last night that was really good for him, and they have a lot to build off of over there. I think Beyond the Arch, Beast of the East, though, they're gonna keep rolling. They're 4-2 now, and that puts them in third place in the Founders region behind Lakeshore 5-1. The OGs are 4-1. So look, man, both those teams are hot right now, and Lakeshore three in a row, winners 3 in a row now. So hey, they're rolling. They're rolling. But you're gonna roll in. Let's move on here to our final topic this morning and talk a little NFL football this morning. We don't usually do this, but hey, let's try it out. Hall of Fame finalists have been announced. There's a bunch of players here listed. Reggie Wayne, Andre Johnson, Torrey Holt, Devin Hester, Jared Allen, Eric Allen, Willie Anderson, Jari Evans, the guy you're seeing here on the screen here in this package, Dwight Freeney, Antonio Gates, Rodney Harrison, Julius Peppers, Fred Taylor, Patrick Willis, and Darren Woodson. Those are all players who are in that Hall of Fame finalist category there. And usually only about 4 to 8 get in every year, and that requires a 80% approval from that Hall of Fame committee. I don't know how closely you keep up with football, Yells, but getting to that point though, getting to my question here, which one of these players do you think between 4 to 8 players would get in the Hall of Fame on the first try?
I'm gonna sound like a homer. Run through that list for me one more time, B. Ron, so I can
Sure.
take note.
Sure. Reggie Wayne, Andre Johnson, Torrey Holt, Devin Hester, Jared Allen, Eric Allen, Willie Anderson, Jari Evans, Dwight Freeney, Antonio Gates, Rodney Harrison, Julius Peppers, Fred Taylor, Patrick Willis, and Darren Woodson. There's a lot of great names on this list, man.
A lot of great names.
Absolutely.
And so here's the thing about sports, and this is where people go crazy. I was having conversations about what you grow up watching, or there's in all sports, everyone will have an affinity more so for what they grew up watching. Somebody else could be greater, but there's a bias, there's an internal bias that you can't get
Yeah,
away from.
there is.
And,
There is.
so everyone leans towards their era and also their region, what their hometown region is. So
Yeah.
someone's gonna fight me on this and say, "Well, these other guys had the same thing." When I hear that list, there's two people that stand out in terms of longevity, how continuously they did what they did in spite of wins. I'm gonna sound like a homer on one. I know you asked for one, but I'm gonna give you two. Number one, I'm gonna start with the first one. Fred Taylor. I just remember year
That's a
after
good pick.
year,
I like
after
that pick,
year
though.
after year after year after year, this dude was playing at an elite level.
Yeah.
Every single year for quite a few years. There's a lot of other big notable names that had the highlight plays. That's the world we live in, right? You say Devin Hester, you say Julius Peppers, you say some of these guys. They had quite a run during their time, but was their run long? To me, their day in the sun where they were playing at an incredibly elite level was a little shorter than Fred Taylor and the guy I'm about to name. I'll give Andre Johnson his flowers.
Yeah.
Please.
I like those. I
If
like those
nothing
though.
else, he never got it. He didn't get a Super Bowl. He didn't get to fight for it. Imagine what he would have done with a offensive line that was even willing to block for his quarterback. He was having to go
Yeah.
catch God knows anything. He had to go catch the
Mhm.
ball, a cold, babies. He had to catch everything year after year after
Yeah.
year. He ran the slot. He'd run a deep route. He ran the slants. Andre Johnson is a non-flashy football receiving god, and I want to see him make it into the Hall of Fame.
I like both of those. I really do. I of course I have to go Devin Hester. I have to.
Come on.
The most prolific kick returner in NFL history.
Yeah.
Like I don't in my opinion I don't think there's any objections you can make in that regard. I feel like he's one that gets in on the first try. I also feel
Because of
like
his
Will
impact on kicking, and we'll never
on in
we'll
special
never
teams game.
yeah,
Yes,
we'll never
absolutely.
even see people running the ball like that with the new rules. We'll never even see it anymore
Yeah,
anyway.
I don't think we'll see that that happen. I do also think that Willie Anderson could get in on the first try as well.
I don't trust
One of
anybody named Willie. Go ahead.
but hey, you look for longevity. He had a long career playing for the Chiefs over there. Another one for me that comes on that could probably get in on the first try. Again, I like the ones you named, and I do think that those also could do it as well. But I also feel like maybe we could see uh, Reggie Wayne get in on the
Yeah.
first try
Yeah.
too. Reggie Wayne is also another one that I think could get in on the first try. Wouldn't surprise me at all if he does manage to get in. Again, usually only between 4 to 8 get in every year on the first go around. So we'll see, man. It'll be fun to see how that all shakes out though when those votes finally come down, and maybe we'll talk about it more when we get to that point in time.
Willie Anderson. Never trust anyone named Willie. When I hear Willie, all I hear is someone who had a vendetta. All they do is they remember what Willie did. You gonna get what you got coming to you, Willie.
Well, if there's anything to take away from the episode, guys, it's don't trust a man named Willie. And thank you all for joining us this morning here on SimWorld today. We really appreciate your time as always. Remember to leave a like on the video, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's where our SimWorld TV games are going down. We'll have some more games here tonight as well. We got some games going on tonight. Best Coast Ballers taking on Bad Boys Basketball at 7, and then SimWorld Europe and H Town at 8. We'll see you guys for them later on in the evening. But remember, until then and until tomorrow on SimWorld today, remember, SimWorld is the only place where you can see the game, be the game. We'll see you tonight and tomorrow for more SimWorld today.